And hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents here on Amazon Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all can be with us. Have a very special guest that's joining us today, and it's Pub Day for her. So we're really excited about this. Author Vanessa Miller is back with us on our broadcast. She's celebrating the release of her new book, The Light on Halsey Street. We're going to talk to her not only about the book, what it's been like for her, you see her holding her copy there, what it's been like for her to finally share these characters with the world, but also what it's been like for her in her career to be able to entertain and inspire her readers as well. For those who are tuning in on the Amazon side, welcome to you. If you're not doing so already, make sure you guys hit that follow button. You'll see it here in this corner or down below. You also will see Vanessa's book both in paperback and Kindle, and both of them, of course, are available now. So make sure you guys go ahead and one-click that Kindle and order that paperback so you can get it. Vanessa, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, Vanessa, we've had you on the radio show before, but we're glad to be able to see you now as we are kind of going throughout this day. But we've been seeing a lot of you lately, Vanessa, because I love the fact you really have been out there talking about this book. So how does it feel to finally have The Light on Halsey Street available for the world to be able to read?
My goodness, I woke up this morning and it was like a woo-saw. And it's always like that with each book release. I tell people, I don't just write a book and just hide it under a bush somewhere. I try to tell as many people as possible, and I encourage my readers to get out there and tell people about the book, because I know word of mouth really does help to sell books. And so it's been just amazing to wake up today and realize that today is the day and the book will be in my readers' hands.
Yeah. And I think, in fact, my paperback, I have the Kindle edition here. My paperback will be here today. I'll be sharing a picture with it. I always order both, Vanessa, because I prefer to have the paperback. But, of course, when I'm traveling, the Kindle's a lot more convenient.
Right.
I bring that up for this reason, though. In your career, you've seen this industry change so much. But what has it been like for you to change with it and to grow your audience along the way?
It has been all at once challenging, fun, and just kind of just learning new things as I go. Because my first book came out 20 years ago, 2003, and we are now in 2023. And so a lot of this stuff wasn't available. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, none of it was available at the time when I first started writing. We were just traveling here, there, trying to get people to learn about the books. And so it's different, but you still have to get out there. And so I am, of course, going on tour this week as I leave. I have a book release party tonight at Park Roads Books here in Charlotte, but then I leave heading to Raleigh on Thursday, and from there, Connecticut, then New York, then I'll be in Maryland, because I believe as an author, it's just so important to keep getting the word out and meeting the readers and letting them know they matter. And readers really do matter to authors.
Yeah. I love that. I want to say hello to Midnight Book Bar, who Midnight Ace Book Bar is joining us. She says hello, everyone, and happy book birthday to you, Vanessa. Also, we have Angela Anderson, who helped us set up this conversation today.
Yes.
She says hello to you, and also happy release day to you as well. And I've noticed from you, Vanessa, in your career that I've been following is that you have not only been able to hold on to your loyal readers, your fan base has grown a lot as well. I know people look at your work as being inspirational fiction, or some people may consider it Christian fiction. But I was saying to you before we went on here, there are so many just basic life lessons, I think, and that definitely rings true in this book. How important has that been for you to not only to have your faith kind of shine in your work, but also just your love of storytelling too.
You know, I truly believe that God gave me the gift of writing.
Mm,
And so I became when I first became a storyteller, though, I didn't understand that this gift was from God. But
mm,
once I discovered that, all I ever wanted to do was to write a book, a good book that people would be able to enjoy, but also shines a light on God's love for the
yeah.
reader. Because I just truly believe that in the day we live in, you know, there's so much going on, and there's so much heartbreak from time to time that we deal with. I think it's important that people understand that God is still there. God is still waiting on us to come to Him so He can love on us. I just think that's important, and so I try to put it in my books. But as you say, I have people who read my books as well who may not be necessarily Christian,
Hmm.
and that's because I try to write books about real people with real
Yeah.
issues. I
Yeah.
want, you know, in this book, you have Dana. She goes to prison. And so,
Yeah.
because of, you know, her boyfriend is the stick up kid in the neighborhood, and because of a crime he commits, she ends up in prison. And so that's not, you know, fairy tale type of, you know, all day long, no wrong have I done type of writing. And so, and what happened to me was when I first became a Christian and I began to read Christian fiction, it was like the people were so perfect that I did not
Mm,
recognize them, because there was a time in this Christian genre that you could not write a book and say that this person had committed a sin, or this person did something that was wrong. And so I didn't recognize those type of people. And
yeah.
so when I began writing, I knew I wanted to write about people that I grew up in my neighborhood, people that, you know, we were kind of like, oh no, you don't want to mess with them type
Yeah.
of
Right.
people, and show how God can still work in those type of people's lives.
But it's, I'm glad you mentioned that. I want to say something that I noticed that the publisher did that I thought was interesting in the description for your book. Angela, hello to you. Angela Connolly says, yes. You know, to the point you're making, I think, again, that's the relatability factor for
Mhm.
you, that people feel, Vanessa, because if people of faith, we're not perfect, right? I
Correct.
mean, so it's hard for us to try to relate to people who do come across that way. I thought it was interesting. The publisher said that your book, this book, and you talked about Dana. Of course, we're going to get into Lisa a little bit too. Is perfect for readers of Kimberly Lawson Roby, but also Terry McMillan. What did you think when you saw that?
Well, you know, when I saw it, I was like, I get it, because
Yeah,
I kind of bounce between the two,
yeah,
because I'm giving you the homegirl story. You know,
hmm,
I'm giving you the grit of what is going on with them in their daily lives. But then as you continue to read my stories, I also give you God in
yeah,
there. And
hmm,
so I get why they would try to balance the two in my
hmm,
writing. I have often said I cannot really, when people ask me to give you a person I write like, and I've been like, I don't know. I think I'm creating
yeah.
a thing of my own.
Yeah, no, I get that, and I think too. You know, I feel like sometimes we confine people so much, Vanessa, by these genres, and I understand you have to put someone somewhere. I
Yes.
had a conversation with Kimberly Lawson Roby about that very fact, the fact that you think about her books. I mean, you know, there's so much in there. The faith element is there, but there's so much other stuff that's there. I
Yes.
think there's people definitely can see themselves. I want to say hello to Lawana Bradford. She's joining us as well. She says hello to you
I
as
know.
well, Vanessa. Oh, Rhonda McKnight is here. Hey,
Hey,
Rhonda, good to be able to
Rhonda.
see you as well. Maya says hello as well. And Deborah Davis is here. She's another fellow author. She says
Okay.
hello as well. So let's see. Lawana says, Vanessa, you are creating your own signature sound. So I love it, and that is so true. I want to talk about Lisa for a second, because I think it's interesting as we talk about the time that these characters are set in. in the 80s. When I grew up, actually, it was
Me
funny
too.
kind of going back, to 85 and thinking about Lisa and Dana. How did Lisa come to you?
Lisa came to me because I already knew Dana's character was going to be one that was the wild character. She was dealing with, single parent, a single parent household where her mother was on drugs. Because when I knew I had to deal with the 80s, I knew what was going on in the 80s because I grew up in that. We were the generation that started this crack epidemic. So I knew I could not write about the 80s and be true to it without showing what happened to these kids whose parents ended up on drugs. So Dana was my representation of that. So Lisa, I said, well, but wait a minute, I can't just write only about that. I want to write about this family feel in Bed-Stuy as well, because my husband, who grew up there, he was always telling me about it was like a community feel in Bed-Stuy, and it was just family oriented. So Lisa represents my family oriented type of person, where she grows up in a 2-parent household. Her father owns the corner store down the block, and my husband's father owned a corner store in Bed-Stuy. And so she works in the corner store. She's on her way to college. Lisa represents I was writing at first where you would think I'm showing good versus, bad. But I give it a twist as we go on in reading the book, because you think, oh, Lisa is the perfect one. Lisa, has this together. Lisa has her walk with God. But then something happened. And Lisa deals with identity theft, and she has to forgive, because that's the mantra for a Christian. But what happens when a Christian can't forgive? And so that's what I show you with Lisa.
And I think too, I want to say, to Deborah, who's asking about the book, we're talking about her new book, The Light on Halsey Street. It's out today. There you see Vanessa holding it up for you guys there. And I want to say, for those joining in on the Amazon Live side, you all can be able to click the book either here on this corner or down below to be able to get it for yourself, either in paperback or the Kindle edition as well. Also, of course, for those who have any questions, make sure you guys do put those in the comment box there on Amazon, or we also are streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on LinkedIn. So if you guys have any questions over there, feel free to be able to put those in. You mentioned, of course, the dynamics of the two, Lisa and Dana, right? I think there's also a play on the title here as well, Vanessa, The Light on Halsey Street, because that light is kind of figurative in this book as well. Talk to us about that, because again, thinking about, those of us of faith, we think about what it means to be a light. How did the idea of a light, how did it kind of shine in this book?
Well, the light is, I wanted it to be an actual person that is bringing light to a community that is falling apart due to the situations that our generation, our 80s generation brought to it. And so the light is not just God being the light. The light is one of these characters. As you read, you understand just by their love of community, their love for wanting to do something that would turn a community around, becomes the shining light in this book. And so that was very important to me to be able to write it like that, because I also believe that we need to be doing the things that our heart speaks to us. And one of the characters, her heart spoke to her about community involvement, and that is what she then was able to do.
Jennifer Thompson, hello to you, Jennifer. She says, congratulations to you, Vanessa, again, celebrating you on Pub Day. Midnight Ace Book Bar says, great pickup with the light. I wanted to know if that was intentional. Midnight Ace Book Bar, I didn't pick it up initially for myself, and I'm curious. I will ask you the question, Vanessa, but I thought it was so interesting to see the symbolism that is in this book for sure. Did you go into this book because kind of knowing the direction you want to go in, Vanessa? Did you go in with that thought of being a light, was that something that you went into with the book, or is it something that evolved with the story?
It's something that evolved with the story because I wasn't sure how we were going to show her as the light. Uh,
Gotcha.
but and fun fact, the original title of the book when I first turned it in was supposed to be Lewis and Halsey, because the corner store was on the corner of Lewis and Halsey. But then I put at the bottom of the proposal an alternative title would be The Light on Halsey Street, because I knew I wanted to shine light within the darkness of what they were going through, because I knew the book was going to be about dark moments in their life. And so then I had to shine light. And so then they were like, okay, yeah, let's go with The Light on Halsey Street. And so I really then had to come up with the light.
Yeah. You know, you just said something really interesting, and I remember watching a video you did on Facebook. You were telling that story, Vanessa, about the two titles, and it brings up this question, thinking about the book and the characters, because there are individuals who could be seen as being good that have bad things happen or are part of bad things, and there are those, of course, who are seen to just be a bad element. I love the fact of what you just alluded to, and that is that good people can have bad moments. And that
Yes.
just because you're going through a bad moment does not make you a bad person. How important was that for you to show with these characters and with the situations they found themselves in?
That is always very important for me, because I think too many people give up on themselves, and they give up hope because they think they're in the midst of a bad moment, a bad year, a bad week, and they think, well, then it's over for me. Well, this is it. I'm a terrible person. And I want them to understand, no, sometimes life just dumps on you, and you have to be able to figure out how you're going to still rise above it, how you're going to still get up again, even if you have to get up again and again. I was just having a conversation with a family member of mine this week. She's going through some things, and I had to tell her, no, this is just for this moment. You're going to get through this, because a lot of times that's how come people give up, because they can't see that light at the end of the tunnel. And so that's why I wanted people to, even though all the situations don't turn out the way we necessarily want them, even in The Light on Halsey Street, because I write about reality, but you're still able to see that light in this book. By the time you finish it, you're able to see what the light meant, and how that can work. My prayer is always that my reader is able to see how it works in their life, even as they're reading about these fictional characters. And so I hope and pray that they're able to see that.
For sure.
And Deborah Davis just said it's just a season, and correct. And that's the thing. It's just a season. Even when we're going through different things, we have to keep reminding ourselves it's just a season.
Exactly. I want to say hello to C Fiction Reader on the Amazon Live site. Thank you so much for that follow. C Fiction Reader says that is powerful. I just ordered a copy. Love the reason for the title. I like that we give up on each other and we throw people away, and that is so true. And we, as people of faith, are guilty of that too sometimes.
Very.
And I think that's the other thing that I think this book does show. Midnight Ace Book Bar says this too shall pass, and that is so true. So I want to ask you, Vanessa, because you've been a part of so many people's lives through your books. Have you gotten used to the idea that a gift that you have been given has touched as many lives as it has?
I don't think I will ever get used to that. I think it's just the fact that I decided that I was going to do what I knew God called me to do. And so it's even when people write reviews for my books, I'm always looking for when they're mentioning God in the review, because that's when I know that I accomplished what I set out to do with that book. I want them to be so wrapped up in that book. And the Light on Halsey Street, my hope is that it speaks volumes to them long after they close the book, because the Light on Halsey Street is about becoming better rather than bitter through the circumstances of life. Because, as we get older, I'm now in my 50s, and I've had, enough offenses now. When you're younger, offenses roll off your back, and you just keep moving because you're young and you think, oh, okay. But as you get older, and this person has offended you, that person has offended you, and just different things continue to happen, we can begin to think it's okay to not forgive. I've seen a lot of people on Facebook make comments about, letting the people go or whatever, and just different things. And sometimes those comments to me come off as, I'm really hurt, and now I'm bitter over those hurts and those offenses. And so I think it's okay to be hurt when someone offends you, because it's like a cut. It's like if someone cuts you, you're going to bleed. But we have to find a way to be able to get over it, and to be able to forgive that offense and move on with our life. And like I say, I've been there myself. So I understand. It took me a couple years I've always thought I was just very forgiving, but you let that right thing happen to you, and God will teach you something about yourself. It took me years to get over a certain offense that occurred within my family. And so because of that, I was able to write this book. Now, this book is two friends, and but I just truly believe that it's better for us to be able to process what happened, learn how to forgive, and learn how to move on from it.
Yeah, such a great point. I want to say thank you so much to Maya. I'm going to go ahead and bring your comment here in a second. Lachelle Weaver is joining us as well. I'll get your comment here in a second. Angela says, thank you for that, as God straightened my attitude before I left the hospital after having my leg amputated. And Deborah Davis says, forgiveness is for you, not the other person. And Lachelle Weaver, Lachelle, great to see you on the Facebook side. She says, happy pub day to you, Vanessa. Got my copy. I'm looking forward to reading it.
Thank you so much.
Book Bar says, Vanessa, you are speaking a whole word. Love the better versus bitter. And Maya says, yes, we do have to find a way to get over the hurt from others. And Rhonda says, that's why we have to remain humble. And that's such a great point. And I think that, again, it goes to how we coming full circle, Vanessa, how you can entertain with this book, but have us think about the real world impact that the characters are dealing with, that we can then be able to bring into our own lives as well. Again, everyone, the new book is called The Light on Halsey Street. I have the Kindle here. I have my print edition coming today, and she has her paperback there. You guys can get yours, the paperback and the Kindle, on Amazon right now, just like See Fiction Reader did. So make sure you guys go over there, get your copy. Also, Angela says she wants hers autographed, Vanessa. So you have to.
And Angela, come to one of my book events. I hope you live in one of the cities that I'm going to be in. Come, and I will definitely autograph it for you.
There you go. Vanessa, congratulations to you again. How can our audience stay connected with you?
Thank you. You can join my mailing list by going to my website, which is vanessamiller.com, and just join my mailing list there. Or you can find me on Facebook or Instagram, even Twitter, even though I don't use it much. but I'm on Instagram as author Vanessa Miller, and I'm on Facebook as Vanessa Miller Pierce, or Vanessa Miller author. You can join either one of those and follow me there, and I greatly appreciate it. Oh, I'm also on TikTok as author Vanessa Miller.
Awesome. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Dr. Tanera Drummond Smith, or maybe Taneria. says, I will support another author. Thank you for that,
Thank you
Dr.
so
Smith.
much.
Appreciate that. And definitely, Vanessa, it's so glad to have you on with us. Again, we've had you on the radio show. It's great to have you on Amazon Live with us. Shout out to Angela's Literary Cafe for setting this up. And Vanessa, looking forward to speaking with you again.
Angela. Thank you. I really appreciate this.
Yeah, glad to have you. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Make sure you guys get your copy of The Light on Halsey Street right now on Amazon. You'll see it here on this corner or down below, either the paperback or the Kindle edition. Make sure you guys go ahead and get your copy of that. And of course, share your thoughts with Vanessa. Let her know what you think about the book. Until next time, I'm Cyrus Webb saying thank you so much for being with us here at Cyrus Webb Presents. We'll talk to you all real soon. Take care.